get a good grade and therefore you make more money.
So
it's like, no.
Don't
get me wrong. I understand you get a good grade, get a reward. That's how I was, but I didn't expect it all the time. I didn't come from that home that was able to do that.
So to clarify, you're against it.
I'm against it.
You're against it because the kids will expect to get money because they perform.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kids should do well because they're supposed to. Because
let's take this one sentence at a time. And yours, you were against it because
pretty much the same thing. It's sending the wrong message.
It sends the wrong message.
It's sending the wrong message. It's something that children are supposed to do because that's what the parents, assumingly, are asking them to do. Not because you're going to get an award for it. You don't pay kids to clean up the room. You don't pay kids to pick up after themselves. That's just what you're supposed to do. That's what the parents are teaching the children.
Well, okay. I'm a primary parent, as Portia said. That's her label. She's a secondary parent. You're a no parent. You're an auntie. He's a no parent, no uncle. I mean, he just don't have kids at his house. What'd you say, singles and cougars? I was saying, that's what he said.
That's because I've been around enough kids to last a lifetime.
Right.
I mean, there's five of us. I'm the youngest. My mom has a home daycare for 35 years since before I was born. She still has it.
Okay.
I've seen it happen.
So here's what I want to focus on. My reason for saying it's okay is because I've actually, and I'm pulling the parent card on y'all. I'm pulling my P card. I've actually had to try to motivate a child to get a better grade. I've had to. I mean, first-hand experience. I know you can do it. I know you're smart enough. What the hell? Why are you sleeping in class? Why are you doing other stuff besides your homework when you get home? You know, what's going on? So then I implement structure. And I said, I'm going to come down hard on you. I'm going to come down harder on you. It's going to get done the easy way or the hard way. But it's going to get done. That's the end result. So somewhere in all that, I said, if you do and try harder, because one of his things was rushing. So when I say he had the ability, he would do the work, but he would get it wrong because he didn't double check. But once he double checked and saw what was wrong, he knew how to get the right answer. That's how I know he had the ability. It wasn't a learning issue. It was a not giving a damn issue. You know, the main core motivation. Yeah, to wake yourself up and say, I'm going to be a better student. So during the process of all this, I said, if you do these things, and the only way you can prove to me you're doing them is that the final grade's higher. And if it's above a B, above a, you know, etc., you get money based on what the grade is. And to me, it worked. So.
And I think that's fine at the home level.
All right, yeah. So that's what you said. You said so. The parents is okay.
It's not a bad idea.
So
I just don't think it needs to be done at the school.
To tag lag on what you're saying, don't we want the kids to be more combined, to feel like the school cares more?
No.
We want them to be more appreciative. We want them to go to school and try hard because the school is doing it.
I don't think money is the right motivator for a 3rd and 4th grader.
Why not? This is a capitalistic society.
You're growing them up too fast. That's what we, as adults, we look at the money, how much is it going to make for the 3rd and 4th grader, and they give them a sticker.
Now that's a better point. So your point is it puts this external stress for earning on them that should be saved until they cross 18.
Here's another question though: does it put the external stress for money, or are they saying I'm not going to do a damn thing unless I get paid for it? That's what I think it teaches.
You think that's going to be?
I don't think they're not going to say, well, I'm going to be a money grubber when I grow up, and I'm going to take the highest job. They're going to go through life. If they don't want to do something, they're going to half-ass it and not do it unless they get paid.
So you saying the money's going to corrupt them?
No. Well, yeah, just bribing them, and if they haven't learned responsibility and motivation, how to do things they don't want to do for their own good, they never will.
I was started work when I was 9 years old. So what? I still had to do good in school, but I can get paid for it. So if I wanted to get paid, I wouldn't have sold newspapers on the corners. So I mean, what?
But why did you do it? Did you do it to get a good grade?
What?
No, why did you
work?
start? Yeah, why?
Because I wanted some allowance. I had to make my own allowance.
But you still had to make the grade. Yes,
but if I could have did it in school, I wouldn't have been on the corner selling newspapers.
And again, if your parents paid you to wipe your ass, you'd be rich right now. There's just some things you got to do. Some things that you don't get paid for. It's just what should happen.
So what?
And I could even maybe see doing it for seniors, because there's a high dropout rate. So maybe something seniors are
juniors and
older,
seniors.
about to go out. Yeah, maybe them because the dropout rate. But a third and a fourth grader,
So young.
even a middle schooler, and then for
But
high schoolers, then they have, if they're gonna do that, make it 11th to 12th grade or just 12th grade to give them something to keep them in school.
it starts on the ground zero level.
But not money.
It's-
Yes, not money.
Because money is evil.
I mean,
why not money?
that's
We all like money.
Money
that's
is an
pros and
adult
cons.
reward.
Money is an
in my
adult
eyes.
reward.
As
As
an
a
adult reward.
kid, I want, if and when I do have kids, and they come home with, hey mom, look at what I got. This is what I made. I made an A, I made a B. I want them to feel good that I'm gonna give them a hug and a kiss and say, I'm so proud of you. That's how I was raised. It's
Okay.
like, look mom, he's like, this is what I got. Get bueno, mija, you got that. Thank God you got a good grade. That's how I was raised.
Right.
At the end of my report card, which was every quarter or so, then yeah, I got a reward. I got something that I've been wanting for. So that was my Christmas.
So before you go past it, so you said you can log in. So you said
It ain't worth
the motivation of your parents'
the approval
pride,
and the pride,
being proud of you,
proud of me,
being accepted
that
in your
it's so
family.
great, yeah.
So the minimum level of your family saying your success per grade marking period, per progress reporting period, was satisfactory to you.
That was so much more.
So
yeah.
what about the kid that doesn't work?
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, like Portia was saying, if it works for your kid, great. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. That worked for me, and especially through high school, because we went to school. What was the Chungupin thing? If you didn't do your homework, if you didn't turn in, you have to wash pots or run laps.
Right.
My thing was, I don't want to disappoint Craig. I don't want to disappoint Mr. Duncan. I don't want to disappoint Bill. That was my thing, the disappointment. I want the approval. I want have them be proud of me.
So I'm saying, what about the kid that doesn't have that?
Well, then the school needs to do a parenting session on how to motivate your kid. This
Exactly.
is taking responsibility off the parent to motivate their kid to
Exactly.
be all they can be.
Because otherwise, all you're saying is there's no respect for authority. There's no honor in doing a good job. There's no authority towards doing what you're asked. It's only I'm only going to do this if I get something good out of it right now.
Let me go down
So
to
the what's in it for me?
Pretty much.
Yeah, let me drop it down to a negative level. If they're gonna say, okay, I get $100 because I got a 4.0 this semester, whatever, drugs fall into place. You know what? I can make money selling drugs. I can be a dope dealer.
And they
making
do
so
that.
much more. Exactly, but it's money. It's the whole drive of money. If your kid is driven by making so many bills or whatnot, something's wrong. You need to readjust how you're raising your child.
Right.
Where's the accomplishment? I'm proud of myself. I was independent. I did this on my own. And look how great it turned out. Where is that fall into place? We're just like, oh, okay, you completed the task. You did great. I give you an A. Here's $100. No.
And I, as a parent, wouldn't appreciate the school doing that because I don't.
Oh, you didn't know the parents get paid too?
I don't.
Yeah,
That's an even worse
But that's
problem.
pushing that
want that
into
money?
the people's
You don't
household.
want that
No.
money? Excuse your chair, where face is like. You be high.
Yeah,
So-
no.
so
then
yeah, so
the
yeah.
school district's paying the kids. I don't condone that in my household. Now what?
I can appreciate
So
the fact.
wait, let me answer that. So make that child make that child donate to charity. And I think that would be making even a better point. It's 2 points, right? You're getting this money. I have rules in my house, and I don't approve of it. So you're going to get the check. I'm going to get the check, and together we're going to go feed the homeless. I think that would be
That's
great.
good.
I'm saying, like, that's
That's good.
turning the negative to a positive. I'm just giving you an answer on now what. That's all. I'll give you an answer on
It's
that.
just making a good parent work harder to justify what the school's doing.
And making the lazy ones do nothing.
Right.
The lady.
There you go.
So no, the parents don't get paid when the kids perform and when they come to like 10 meetings. So the parents have to come to the parent PTAs, the parent teacher meeting. PTA.
Imagine that.
Right, exactly.
Parents coming to a parent teacher meeting.
Right, exactly.
They're supposed
So-
to do that no matter what.
But they
That's the whole
don't.
point. Without having to get paid, it's your responsibility.
But should, supposed to, are not happening.
Okay. So
But
what
see,
about,
that's the thing though. Like we got back on this thing of like everybody gets away from doing the bare minimum, and then we look at everybody else and say, well, Billy's not doing it. Since I'm still doing the bare minimum, I should get something for it. So it's like our standards are falling so low, and this gets back to the whole independent thing because I'm paying for my kids and paying my own bills. Who else is supposed to?
Right.
So let's get our standards back up. We can do better than this.
Now, don't get me wrong. I understand. For all we know, Exxon and what other company is putting up the money to pay these kids. Okay, the whole, it's not just the parents raising the kids, it's a community.
Right.
Okay, great. Thank you for caring enough. But really, why can't you do something else? Why don't you say, if you make the grades, you win the scholarship from us?
They've been doing that. Scholarship's been in place.
Right. They have.
They're not doing it across the board for everybody.
Not for
30 and 4th graders?
Right.
Well, this is a new scholarship. It's called the Benjamin Franklin. The Benjamin Franklin Fund.
And did you hear what it was for? For passing a standardized state test?
Yeah.
Is anybody else going to say it?
See, that's what I've been waiting.
Is anybody else going to say it? Because I'm going to come out and say it ain't hard. History. George Washington. History.
But the problem
Abraham Lincoln. Number 3, George Washington.
I'm going to go further and say that not only is it not hard, it doesn't measure anything. Just because these kids can pass these tests don't mean that they can pass the class, know arithmetic, how to read, etc., etc. All they know is how to pass the test. They don't really know how to learn. Learning is a logical thought process. And that's why they call it advanced education. Because when you finish high school, you're not necessarily equipped to have that logical process is not necessarily complete. So that's what I'm getting at.